here, like I said. Yeah, I'm going to actually be doing less here going forward. Less engagement just in general. But I wanted to hop on this live because of the video I just posted about the past being the present or the present being the past. So if you have any questions regarding that video or just want me to comment in general, feel free to let me know what your thoughts are. It's kind of a different way of me saying, for example, ignore what you see in the present moment. I think that we are programmed with this idea of time, right? I notice this a lot. I like to read the news just to see what they're saying, but I realize that a lot of what the news is saying, it's just echoing the observations of people in the present, right? So if everybody's going like, this is the next thing, this is the next big thing, we should all be doing this, then that is the news. That is what the news does, amongst other things. I'm not going to delve into the programming or the fact that it's controlled. That's not the purpose of this conversation. But I digress. What I realize is that if you're reading the news for like fundamentals or for trading or just to kind of know what's going on, you're already late. You're already behind. You're basically in the past. And what I tried to explain in that video that I posted before I hopped in the live is that you have to view reality not in terms of linear time, but you have to view reality in terms of causality, causation, cause and effect. Cause and effect. Let's see what's going on. I don't know if it's saying this one be hot to 10. Oh, okay. So you have to look at life in that way, and everything that's going on in our reality, you have to look at it in that way. If you're still sort of going with what everybody's saying right now, you're already behind. And so that is kind of the secret to my success in a way. I don't go by what people believe in the present moment, right? I go by what people are saying could be probable in the future, and then hold on, I gotta block somebody. I go by what people believe or think or are open to the probabilities of what could occur in the future, and then I extrapolate from there. You have to start with an open mind that anything is probable. You have to start with the open mind that anything is probable and then go from there. But if you are still in the present moment, kind of going by what everybody is saying, or if you're picking up the news and the news is saying like this thing is the next big thing, you're already behind. It's already late. Like, that's it. It seems super commonplace. I'm reading some of the comments and I hope it's resonating with some of the people who are actually listening and not the people who are talking about spaghetti or whatever, because this is actually very valuable information. So I hope you could take the information in. Oh, sorry, I paused it, so that's why I'm missing the comments. Okay, it's probable I'm going to be starting quarterback for the Chicago Bears. That's self-portrait. It is not a self-portrait. The past doesn't form your present, the future does, but it's all one thing, really. I understand when you talked about Bitcoin economy, and I don't understand when you say the present is the past. The present is essentially everything you're experiencing right now are the effects of the past cause. So I try to kind of say that in the video in different ways, right? Everything you're experiencing right now in the present moment is the effect of a past cause. I had a friend of mine that actually messaged me on Telegram, and she was saying how like whatever she's going through right now is a bit stressful. She's looking for stability in her life and she just can't seem to sort of get things going where she wants them to go. And my response to that was that it's because what you're going through right now has nothing to do with where you're going, right? So what you're dealing with or what you're experiencing right now in the present moment are the consequences of the actions or inactions that you're taking in the past. So where you're headed is in the future. It's not reflected now. You literally have to just ignore what you are experiencing right now and focus on where you're going. And in the present moment, you are essentially setting the foundation for what your future self, you're basically creating the cause of the effect that your future self will have. So it ties into that other video I did where I was wearing the pink, and I did paint the portrait, yes. Well, the sun's in the way right now, but eventually the sun will, it's moving that way. Hi, Joey, just joined. Sorry, I missed what sounded like an interesting conversation. No, I actually just started. And it's good to see you. Appreciate you. Yeah, I'm basically just saying that anybody who has any sort of comments or questions about the video just posted before I hopped in, feel free to ask them now. Thanks. I need the time to go reflect. Yeah, it's a hard learned lesson because it's easy to kind of get caught up in how we are programmed in our reality. Like literally, pick even right now as you kind of look at the stock market, right? Right now it's all doom and gloom. But what we're seeing right now is a result of essentially it's the effects of what was caused months ago or a year ago. All right. So you don't want to panic in this moment. You have to kind of project yourself 4 months, 6 months, a year into the future. If you're looking for sort of more practical information, because I get this quite a bit, where people go, it's all fine and dandy to talk about the nature of our reality or this being a simulation, but how does that help me in my day-to-day existence? Well, this is how it helps you in a day-to-day existence, because it is very important to, one, not get moved with the crowd, two, understand that the news, for example, is only a reflection of basically what's happening in the past. Read the news like they're talking about the past. It's not a predictor of what, even however they say it, however they want to say this is what is going to happen. No, they don't know. And it's not their job to tell you that. It's not their job to predict the future. It's not their job to, talk about what's the most probable outcome, right, to the present moment. That's not their job. Their job isn't to sit there and tell you, okay, if we are experiencing a peak, right? So for example, the housing market, just this past summer and last summer as well. You pick up the newspaper and all they're telling you is, oh, the market is booming. The housing market is booming. Buy. Everybody's buying. There's a rush. If you read that in the present, you're tempted to jump in and be like, okay, I've got to do this because it's always going to be this way. They're not going to tell you that the reason why we're experiencing what you're experiencing in the present is because of what happened in the past, right? Anything that you do now in the present the effects or the consequences of what you do in the present is going to sort of show in the future. It sounds super simple, but it's really not. And I wish people knew this more. And so for the 100 people that are in here right now, bear this in mind. Bear this in mind because it's going to come up again and again. It's the same sort of loop. Whenever something is going up, everybody is going to, move into one direction, and they're going to tell everybody, do this, and you're going to pick up the news and going to say, this is the next thing. The moment they're saying this is the next thing is when you should be looking to get out, right? Just bear that in mind. The present moment, anything that you're experiencing in the present moment is a result or consequence of past caused events, because the present is a consequence of the past. It's the effect of caused events in the past. It's like a weird way of looking at time, but it will be helpful going forward. That's exactly what happened to the coins. Yeah, they do it all the time. I've seen this the first time it happened. Yeah, somebody said, oh, I get it now. Yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to jump in and just like break it down, because there are limitations with this app. You go in and you have to force it down to like a 1-minute video. But the concepts that are being discussed, it's like we're talking about, causality. We're talking about theories and, themes that are like in quantum physics, which is not something that is like easy to grasp. I'm trying to take really complex ways of perceiving the world and like, force it into a minute video, and it's not enough time. And sometimes I go by like reading the comments, I realize that, either I didn't communicate it clearly enough, or what I'm trying to say is getting lost because of the brevity of it. And yes, they say brevity is the soul of wit, but sometimes in order for people to better understand or grasp an idea, you need a little bit more time. You need a little bit more of breaking down, things like that. How do you feel about the concept of reverse causality? So what I'm going to say is this. It's not even reverse causality, because you have to be also mindful of the fact that even the word causality implies cause and effect. It's all the same thing. It's all one thing. It's one thing acting upon the other. Because we are conditioned and we're programmed with this sort of linear view of time, even when you say reverse causality, you're still sort of operating in the mindset that something can cause something else. But if everything is predetermined and it's all laid out, then there's really no cause and no effect. It starts to get really complex. But if everything exists right now and it's always been sort of cyclical, there is no cause, there is no effect. Also, I'm saying if you're following me, which I appreciate you following me on this app, but please check out my other platforms. Please check me out on YouTube. Please check me out on Instagram, because I am going to be doing less and less on this app. Okay, so you should be on the history channels. Yeah, so you just have to be mindful of that. Like, retrocausality is great, and I've done videos on retrocausality. Like, I can do kind of a quick gotcha video where it's like, do you know that your actions tomorrow can be impacted today? I have a couple of videos that I'm actually working on, but right now they're like 6 minutes long, and once again I have to take a 6 minute long video and condense it down to like 3 or 4 minutes. But it's the idea is that, can the future influence the past? The future, the past. And my response to that is, it's all one thing. It's all one thing. Nothing is influencing the other, because causation and effect, they're all one thing. So the mindset is still there. The mindset that we are pre-programmed with is still there, that one thing can influence the other, but you have to look at it all as one, right? It's almost like asking, do my feet influence, my head, or does my head influence my feet? What comes first? It's like they all work together as you walk, right? It's all part of this one sort of like movement. And it's hard to understand at first grasp, but the more you expose your mind to it, the more it becomes easier to absorb and easier to understand. But you have to start, first of all, by sort of throwing out the idea of linear time, right? Of the future influencing the past, or the past influencing, or anything influencing anything, or creation or whatever. Like, you have to throw that all out and just look at everything as one. The idea, hey Astro, how are you? Thanks for hopping on. But the idea of even like existence and separation and duality, I will discuss, just because you have to, when you speak to people, you have to speak to where they are, right? You can't just go in and just say like we're all one kind of thing. So if a person is operating from a space of duality, then you have to speak to them from a space of duality. But if you're sitting and you're looking at a person, and in your mind, because that's literally how my mind works, I'm sitting and I'm observing a person, but in my mind I know that this person not only is me, right? Like, you're me. When you see me, it's one of my favorite quotes from Jay-Z. One of my favorite quotes from Jay-Z, when he says, "When you see me, see you. When you see me, see you." It's one of my favorite. Another favorite quote or lyrics, I guess, from Jay-Z is, human beings in a mob. What's a mob to a king? What's a king to a god? What's a god to an unbeliever who don't believe in anything? No church in the wild. Woo! So like, when you see me, see you. You don't just launch, into those sort of conversations when you meet somebody and you're like, hey, nice to meet you. And then you just go, we're all one. So if you're talking to somebody, or you're communicating with them, and they're operating from a space of, black versus white, or shadow versus light, or good versus evil, right? And you can see that that's where they are. Then you communicate with them from that level. And then eventually, over time, you can move them to, not only are we all one God, we're all one God. Because every once in a while, like every time I go live, somebody hops in and they ask me, do you believe in God? And my response is, I believe in you. You are God. We are God. We are a collective. As a collective, we are God. It's like waking up in a dream, right? Waking up in a dream, quoting Jay-Z, and I can't believe anyone listens to this. All the love, love listening to you. If everyone understood when you see me, see you, we'd have peace. Absolutely. It's like waking up in a dream and realizing, okay, becoming lucid in a dream and looking around and going, okay, like, this is still me, right? You don't believe in God, enough said. Okay, have a lovely day. Thank you. I do believe in the block button, though. That's the other thing, too. I'm sorry. Let me sidestep. There is this temptation, I think. I noticed this with people. When you start speaking about spiritual like concepts and about your one, and you know what I mean, like balance and all of that, people think that you're just this like feather, right? That they could just say stuff to you and you'll just be like, it's okay. And no, like I'm well integrated. I'm actually working on a drawing as a t-shirt for my my website where it's a demon. Like she's like gonna be a cute demon, but she's gonna have a halo, and it's gonna say, like the drawing is gonna say something like balance is key, because I'm balanced. Like I could talk to you all angelic, but this is here as well. Like this is balance. All right. So like don't hop on my live and say some stuff unless you want to get blocked, then yeah, feel free, I guess. Yeah. So, and I'm a big fan of that. I buy 1,000. Thank you. If you go to dressfordystopia.com, dressfordystopia.com, I have some shirts up there already. And I appreciate you. Yeah, this is actually one of my favorite shirts. But yeah, I'm not one of those like super positive people all the time. I'm just not. I have my days when I sort of get down, and that's okay. And then I have some days when I'm all love and light, and that's okay. But I do believe in fully integration, which is my point, right? It's we can operate from a space of duality, or you can integrate and understand that shadow and light exist together, right? Light casts shadow. So I love my shadow aspect of myself. And yes, please block me. You keep coming on my FYP for some reason. I mean, you can block me. That works too. But there you go. Don't apologize for creating healthy boundaries. No, it just, it is what it is. Oh my God, go somewhere, right? Is there any objective evidence to this? Is there any objective evidence to anything? Is there any objective evidence to, for example, what we're told about consciousness, that the brain produces consciousness? There is not. So if you're going to sort of start from that and question this, then question everything. And there's nothing wrong with questioning. In fact, there's also nothing wrong with understanding that, or even operating from a standpoint that we don't know anything. And I don't operate from the space of I know everything. Right now, in this present moment, those of you who, for example, listen to the podcast, know that if I come across new information, I will be quick to like go, okay. So a couple of my favorite books are the Cosmic Trigger series, Cosmic Trigger 1 and 2. 3 is pretty good, but it gets better towards the end of it. And he basically talks about avoiding speaking in absolutes, right? Don't trap yourself into a reality tunnel. He calls them reality tunnel. Don't trap yourself into a perspective of like, this is how the world is. You get what I mean, right? So is there any objective? Why is that funny? The short answer is no. The short answer is there's no such thing as objectivity. That is the short answer. Reality itself is subjective. You could go to Google and ask Google as well, or like read the several books that I've put in and throughout my videos too. The only thing I've ever learned that felt like an answer is the universe recycles all energy. Somebody is just sending me likes, by the way, and I don't know who it is, but I want to say thank you. I appreciate you. Okay, the only thing I've ever learned that felt like an answer is the universe recycles all energy. Well, it's all a loop. So you'll see people saying the same thing over and over again. It's a loop. I did read something the other day. Hey friend, how are you? One of my favorite people. I did read something the other day about where it was talking about existence. And I've always said on the podcast, excuse me, it is hot in my studio for like no reason. We are freezing. You're freezing. I am hot. We're sweating. Where is it cold? Where is it cold? It's cold. Is winter happening already? Is winter happening already? Okay. All right. What was I talking about? All right. It'll come back to me. Yeah, it'll come back to me. But yeah, where is it cold? Because I don't want to be where it's cold because I like Cali, but I am hot right now. Although I am wearing like sweatpants and long sleeve shirts. I'm probably doing this to myself. It is what it is. Love your videos. Thank you, Essence. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thanks for all the likes. I keep getting the likes. Appreciate it. So yeah, in I think the episode of my podcast right now, I'd love to, the live is freezing. Is it freezing for everybody else? Is it frozen? Is it frozen? Is it frozen? My internet is trash, so I apologize for that. Oh, the live is freezing. Oh, I thought you meant like the weather is freezing. All right, sorry. Yeah, my internet is trash. I apologize for that. It's back now. All right, cool. If it's freezing, let me know. I can't do anything about it if it freezes. I don't even know what causes the freezing, but I guess if it freezes again, I don't know what to do about that. What can I do? Is there anything I could do? I mean, I guess I can move my phone somewhere else. My stream is lagging. It's the aliens. The aliens don't want me to talk to you guys about this. I'm sorry. If Cali wasn't so far from Jamaica, it'd be my top choice to move to. I like Cali. I like Cali. Don't type comments to us because it will make it lag worse. I'm not typing. My hands are up here. I didn't even know you could type comments. Why would I type comments? What's my Instagram name? It's jolie.artist. Freezing just means you're getting too popular for TikTok servers. There's like 80 people in here right now. I don't think that's what's going on. I feel like TikTok would be able to like handle like more than like 80 people hopping. It's good now? All right, cool. Sorry. I apologize for freezing. Hey, Manpreet, how are you doing? All right. So in the previous podcast, Your One Black Friend is the name of my podcast. Thank you for your kindness. Somebody said they love my voice. I don't like my voice, but I appreciate that you like my voice. You have a book recommendation list on your site. So if you go to the YouTube channel and you go under clips, you will find a screen recording. It's a bit dated now. It's from like earlier this year, but it has like a screen recording of my library right now. So you can kind of scroll through that and then pick whatever pops out to you. But it does depend on what topic you are interested in because, you know, it's a variety of things to sort of talk about. No problem, Rachel. Appreciate you. On the podcast, I was talking about collapsing wave functions. The podcast episode was called You Contain a Multiverse or something to that effect. Something about you containing a multiverse. I liked that episode and I was hoping for some more feedback on it. But sometimes when it's like on YouTube, they decide what they push out, or it takes like a week or so for the video to get going and then people seeing it and then commenting on it. I was reading The Quantum Revelation by Paul Levi or something like that. Hey, Bonnie. And what he was saying was, if you want to know how people think about you, I'm paraphrasing and also adding my own thoughts to this. If you want to know what people think about you, I think you're shadow banned again. Probably. I don't care at this point. Fuck this app. But anyway, if you want to know what people think about you, pay attention to how you behave around them. So I'll say this again. If you want to know what people think about you, pay attention to how you behave around them. What aspects of yourself that they bring out of you. That phrase blew my mind because we are used to, or at least we understand the concept of collapsing. Am I frozen again? Because you guys aren't. Can you guys hear me when I'm frozen, by the way? Anyway, I'm sure the comments will all pop up like super fast in like 5 seconds. But if, we are all pretty much familiar with the concept of like collapsing wave functions. Like right now, there is a myriad of probable realities. There's a myriad of, you guys have to keep commenting so I know what's going on. But if it does freeze, as long as you can hear me, as long as I'm not making like a weird phrase. Okay. So we are familiar with the concepts of collapsing wave functions. We are familiar with the concepts of probable realities existing, simultaneously. We are familiar with the concept of parallel, universes across the multiverse. But to turn that all inwards and to think about the concept of that you contain a multitude. You contain a multiverse. You contain various aspects of selves. Now, we've heard people like Gurdjieff talk about this. We've heard Uspensky talk about this. There's even a poet, I forget his name, but he says, I contain a multitude. Probably, I think Frost or something. But to think about the fact that you keep freezing. Okay, should I leave and come back? You think that'll sort it? What do you guys think? Should I end the live and then come back? Because I have all the bars. Like, it's not my internet. My Wi-Fi is like, it's got all the bars. So I don't know why it's freezing. Okay, all right. I'm getting a resounding no. It's them. Okay, people are saying it's okay. Oh, no, okay, not frozen. All right, okay. All right, so let me finish. Okay. All right, okay. All right, okay. Okay, all right. Let's get this. Let's talk about this then. All right, cool. Okay, all right. It's not freezing. All right. Okay. All right, we're good. That's Gucci. All right. So, to think about containing a multiverse, right? So we can talk about thinking. We can talk about all of your parallel selves, right? So we are familiar with shows like, what's that one show where they're Fringe, right? Where you can interact with versions of yourself across the multiverse. And I've talked about that as well. But the idea of you having parallel selves in you and other people collapsing wave functions in you based on how they perceive you, I love that. So I talked about that on the podcast. I love that. Loved it. And so I wanted to really expand on this. When you are around different people, if you find yourself, for example, being more aggressive around the person or more submissive, less assertive, it's because they are collapsing a wave function in you. They are collapsing that aspect of yourself in you, right? It's not that they're creating it. It's not like, it's just when they say that they're bringing out that side of you, it's a side of you, it's an aspect of your personality that exists with you, but then their perception, how they perceive you, their observation of you collapses the wave function and brings that probable self out of you. And all of a sudden, now when you're around this person, that's because that's how they see you. So if you want to know how a person perceives you, see how you behave around them, and that will tell you how they're perceiving you. And if you don't like that, then you almost have to limit yourself. If you don't like them when you're around a particular person, you find yourself being more aggressive, or if you don't like the person that you are around a particular person, then don't spend time with them, because they are essentially bringing out that aspect of you. They're collapsing a wave function in you. To take that, something about quantum physics, and apply it to just a day-to-day existence, I loved it. And I take it a step further, right? So I had this conversation with my husband, and he tried to sidestep it, and he was like, so basically what you're trying to say is that you're failing, or you don't want to accept responsibility for your behavior. And I said, that's not what I'm saying here. That's not what is being said here. It's all of these personalities, all these aspects of my personalities exist within me, right? But I'm accepting responsibility for what I bring out outside of you. Right? And so he tried to turn it, and he was like, well, sometimes you can be very challenging. And I said, well, that's because you seem to want a challenge. And that was like a touche moment. And he had to take a step back and was like, oh, and I was like, yeah, gotcha. Well, let's not play this game. Like, I will always win. But I'm joking. But having that perspective shift helped me deal better. So for example, right? My mom and dad, they're married, and I'm always getting like calls. Like my mom will call me to like complain about what my dad is doing. Then my dad will call me to complain about how my mom is doing. And in the past, I always felt like they forced me to take sides. But then with this mindset, what it helped me realize is, wait, they are bringing out whatever my mom is complaining about that my dad is doing. She's responsible for collapsing that wave function in him. She is bringing that out of him. And whatever it is that my dad is complaining about with my mom, he is responsible for bringing that out of her. So when I took that step back and I watched them and I realized that this is the observer effect, they're collapsing certain wave functions in each other. So they're bringing out the worst in each other. I no longer felt like I had to take sides. And I realized that they're both, it's like a codependent relationship, but they're both responsible for what they're bringing out in each other. So that allowed me to take a step back and realize that, okay, for whatever reason, this is the function of their relationship. She needs to see, I am just getting a consistent heart. I don't know who is doing that, but you're amazing. I just keep seeing the little hearts. Thank you. But that allowed me to just take a step back and go, okay, this is not my issue anymore. They're bringing this out of themselves. And all of a sudden, the emotional connection. Oh, thank you, Anonymous Mystic. I appreciate you. So that helped me take a step back. And honestly, it was really breathtaking for me. I suddenly felt relieved because I was no longer involved in their sort of drama back and forth. It just became sort of more of, okay, I started to sort of psychoanalyze them and go, okay, why does she need him to be kind of helpless? Because she likes to feel like she likes to take care of people. And then why does my dad need my mom to be sort of a bit domineering? Because she is. She's a Nigerian mom. Thank you, Anonymous. And that's because I think he has mother issues. I don't know. But it allowed me now to not blame my dad for his behavior. I blamed her. But then I blamed her for his behavior, right? And so both are guilty, but both are also innocent. And I was able to take a step back. If I'm with the person and I start realizing that there's an aspect of me that's being brought out that I don't like, but I have to interact with them, then it makes me more mindful of, okay, do I want to be this person? And then I really do have to be more conscious of stopping and watching my reactions. But honestly, after a while, that does get exhausting. So for me, I find that it's easier to just limit my interaction with a person if I find that I don't like the person I am when I'm around that person, if that makes sense. You got to 14K. Thanks to you. I appreciate Anonymous just going. I appreciate you. Thank you. So what do you guys think of that? What are your thoughts? I don't know if I missed your questions or, I just was sort of going on, but let me know if you have any sort of commentary on that. Yeah. All right. Back to the topic at hand, or not. I'm kind of waiting to see what you guys have to say, but once I say something, it takes like 10 seconds for the comments to come through. This resonates. Cool. Love my shirt. Thank you. I love it too. What else? I think if there's nothing else to say, I could go, right? Unless if you guys have any questions. If not, it's been a pretty good live, I think. I don't know how long I've been live for, but if you have nothing else, no other questions, feel free to check out the podcast. Let's see. Love you. Okay, we're getting some questions now. Let's see. How do you approach stepping away from those types of people? The podcast is Your One Black Friend. That's a good question. And the way I approach stepping away from those kind of people is I'm a bit violent. I just stop talking. I let the person know, hey, listen, this isn't working out. Or I just slowly start to pull away. Oh, it's your family. If it's your family, I just avoid calls. Everybody in my family now knows that I don't answer calls. So it's probably not the more mature way, but if people know that you're going to answer calls, then they're going to keep calling you. So I just stop answering calls. Sometimes I'm able to predict situations in a business setting. That's cool. Yeah, I think it's based on if you sort of extrapolate from the present what the possible or probable future outcome is. It makes sense that you can predict it, but sometimes things kind of, the game goes in a particular direction that you cannot, always predict. A wild card, if you will. Do you think you can live and be awake in dreams? Of course. There's actually a book called Awakening in the Dream that I'm reading right now. I think that's what it's called. I thought it was going to be a book on lucid dreaming, but it ended up, the guy's like talking about aliens now, which is cool. But yeah, absolutely. It's called lucid dreaming. I think we're awake in a dream right now. I think that this world is a type of dream. I don't think that this is the real world. I think that if you go off of the accounts of people who've had like near-death experiences or out-of-body experiences or, who have died and come back to life, whatever, psychedelics, things of that nature, I think that they all report that this world feels less real than whatever world is out there. This world feels less vivid than whatever reality is outside of this one. So I think that this is the kind of dream. I've actually started reading books on symbolism and dream symbolisms with the mindset of this world is an actual dream. And then I have been looking for symbols in this world. Now, what do I mean by that? So you go to sleep, you have a dream, right? You dream of a woman in a red dress, right? You wake up, you go online, and you type in, what does a woman in a red dress mean, right? That's typically how it goes, right? If you see a reptile or something like that, you go and you look up what that means. Well, if this world is kind of a dream world or kind of reality that's like a construct, then it would make sense that symbols would also exist in this reality. So if you met a woman in a red dress, that could be, okay, let's just say that, what if this world is a dream world of your higher self? Ooh, I like that. What if this world, okay, so people in spiritual circles will talk about your higher self or your future self or whatever it is, right? So when you go to sleep, you go down to a different dimension, right? And you encounter ethereal creatures, two-dimensional creatures, right? So you go from 3D to 2D, which is what the dream reality is. I think it's a different dimension. Could your future self, could your present life be a dream, an actual dream of your future self? If that's the case, or your higher self, let's call it your higher self, a fourth-dimensional version of yourself, could your higher self be dreaming your entire reality? If that's the case, then somebody said this is 4D. Yes and no. It's 4D in the sense of it incorporates space-time, right? But considering the fact that when time is a construct, I think that the fourth dimension being space-time is a bit flawed, because the same people that say that the fourth dimension is, space-time and should be considered a dimension are the same people that say that time is a construct. So you have to kind of sit with that, right? But to answer your question, is this the fourth dimension? No, this is this is a third dimension with time incorporated in. But if time is an illusion, then it's still just the third dimension, Does that make sense? What I consider the fourth dimension is essentially the ability to observe space without being bound to causation. So I'll say that again. I think that the fourth dimension is the ability to observe space or space-time without being bound to causation. Because right now, hey friend, right now we are experiencing reality, not time, but causation or even correlation. I like causation better, right? So I decided to go on the live, which was the cause to the effect of you coming in and leaving the comments, right? So it's cause and effect. Time itself as a construct doesn't really matter. So the same people who are saying the time is a construct are also the same people that's saying that the fourth dimension is space-time. You can't tell me that something is a construct, right? You can't tell me that something is a construct but also throw it into, a dimension. That doesn't make any sense. So I think the fourth dimension is the ability to observe space without being confined to causation, right? You can basically look at the entire universe or multiverse or reality or whatever it is, all of causation, all of cause and effect, all of that above it. Because right now we are bound to causation, right? We're bound to this cause and effect, which leads or lends itself to our reality being determined or predetermined or deterministic. A fourth dimensional entity would be unbound to causation, right? But right now, most people will they say time, but you can't say time is a construct and not adjust for that. But like I said in this video, the present is the past. So you have to think ahead of what is commonplace right now. You have to think ahead of what is commonplace right now. You have to think ahead of what is commonplace right now. In 50 years, Einstein's theory that considers the fourth dimension as space-time will be considered antiquated. So you have to sort of project yourself to what are physicists going to be talking about in 50 years. And they tend to be ideas and topics that people are sort of shying away from right now, because that's how it always is. If the populace believes one thing, if the general public, believe one thing. I see you, Anonymous. The populace believes one thing, right? That's there. Start paying attention to what the physicists on the fringe, talking about fringe, the physicists on the fringe are talking about that may not be considered status quo right now, right? And we're starting to see those cracks. We're starting to see them talk about time being an illusion, causation being, really the fabric of our reality and fabric of our existence. But to throw it back, and for those of you who are just joining in, please, I will upload this video to my YouTube channel in a couple of days or so. But to tie it back to dreams, is your higher self dreaming of this dimension right now? And if that's the case, I want to read what you're saying. I feel like many generations have been structured to live and think their meaning of time. Yeah, we're being forced into a mindset. And a lot of people will ask me, like, how did I get to where I am now? I don't live in the present. I'll say that again. When people ask me, how do I get to where I am right now? The videos that I put out, the concepts that I talk about on the podcast and on my YouTube channel, things like that. How do I get there? How did I get here? My response is I don't live in the present. Now, I don't mean that in the whole, like in the sense of like, and this is very important for those of you who will take the information in. I don't mean that in a sense of like, I don't meditate or I don't, focus on the now. Like, I think if you table that to the side, meditation and being in the moment is very important. But as far as my thinking and my thought processes, hey, Nubian Goddess, how are you? As far as my thinking and my thought processes, I absolutely don't exist in the present. I project myself into probable futures. And I just take a lot of the stuff that, once again, is outside of the status quo, outside of what is considered dogma, and I project it 50 years in the future because I understand, I'm sweating. Because I understand that that's how it works. If you are believing what people, if you're believing what people are believing right now in the present, you're already in the past. So when I talk about, for example, AI, an artificial superintelligence, right? And I talk about, could we be producing or in the process of bringing it to, I'm not even going to say creating, but bringing into this reality a super intelligence. And I talked about this in the podcast too, but bringing it to this reality, a super intelligence, a lot of people popped up, and well, not a lot, it was like 3 people that were like, no, that's not even possible right now. It's going to be possible in like 50, 100 years, and we won't be around by then. Shut up. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm not even talking to people in the present right now. I'm talking to people like 50 years from now. And you have to move in that way. Get what I mean? You have to move in that way. Everything that you do. Okay, serious talk, guys, for the 79 people that are in here that have stayed the whole time. I'm going to let you in on a secret. Do you feel like you were missing out on this life universe then? No, because I'm here. I'm talking to you. I'm engaging with you guys. I create videos. But as far as like what I think technologically, what I think as far as my art is concerned, right? I paint women of color. I paint, Asian women, African American women. I'm starting to paint some men as well. Branching out. But I'm not painting for what is popular right now. Believe it or not, I'm not even in a gallery. You guys, my TikTok, my YouTube, having my paintings in the background, that's my gallery. Not a lot of people know that. My website, that's my gallery. And the reason why I'm not in a gallery is because right now, a lot of galleries have turned me down. Because right now, they're saying that this is not going to sell. This is not popular. Nobody wants to buy paintings of women of color looking like this. They want me to paint abstract stuff. They want me to paint, I honestly, maybe they want me to paint black people as slaves. I don't know. I don't get it. But time and time again, I have been shut down. But my mindset is that I am not painting for now. I'm painting for 50 years from now, when black women when black women get to where we are on our way. So I'm not painting for the present. I'm not painting for the galleries of today. I may not even see my work make it, but artists need to move in that way. True visionaries, I'm about to sound like Kanye, but I love Kanye. So Kanye is my spirit. I'm not even gonna call him an animal. He's my spirit guide. Yeah. For a true visionary, you need to understand that whatever it is that you're doing right now is not going to resonate with people right now. If you're talking to people in the present, and the majority of people, happy birthday. Oh, I'm sorry. He's your birthday twin. Okay, he's a Gemini. Yeah. If you're talking to people, anyway, happy birthday if it's anybody's birthday. If you're talking to people in the present, you're already in the past. If you're talking to people in the present, you're already in the past. If your shit is resonating with people in the present, you're not a visionary. You're already in the past. Should I say it 3 more times for it to sink in? Whatever it is that you're doing. I even talked about, I edited it off the video. Hi, Rhode Island. I edited it off the video because I didn't want to be going off on TikTok. Truthfully, the work we value now wasn't as valuable when originally created. Thank you. You get it. Thank you. You get it. Thank you. If you are reacting to what is going on in the present, I'll say it 2 times more. If you're reacting to what is going on in the present, you are already in the past. I don't create paintings for now. If you are an artist, stop doing shit that's popular right now. Sorry, I started talking about art and I got hyped. Stop doing shit that's popular right now. TikTok. If you are a creator on TikTok, if you're scrolling this and you just see me, listen to me. If you're a creator on TikTok right now, we are seeing the dip. Come back, and this video is going to be on my YouTube channel. Mark my words. We're seeing TikTok. TikTok is going to be a viral app that's going to blow up, and then it's going to be done. It's going to go the way of MySpace. It's going to go the way of Vine. When they're telling you this is the next big thing, it's already out. If you create exclusively for TikTok, Get your stuff off this app. I'm not saying delete it. I mean, obviously, but put it elsewhere. Take your videos, your ideas, your concept, your creativity, back them up to a cloud. Hold on to your content. Please, 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 please do not think that let this app be the thing that like defines you. Like, because in a moment it could be gone. The moment they start saying that something is the next big thing, it's already in the past. So once again, to go back, if you are an artist, if you are a visionary, if you are a creator, it doesn't stop creating for now. Stop jumping on trends. Stop. The moment something is a trend, you're in the past. This is very important. I don't know why. I thought I was only talking to 70 people, and then like 25 more people jumped in. This is a secret. So go away. This is only for the 70 people that had stayed through the whole time. So if you just popped in and you don't know what I'm talking about, keep it moving, because not everybody needs to know this information. So the people who need to know this information, you take this and you take it in. It's very important that you know this. If you can look at that's what's going on with Kylie Jenner right now. They're tailored to Insta and can't adjust to TikTok. Hold on to your stuff. Another thing I'm going to tell you creators, okay? Don't let these apps use you. Hold on to your content. Don't keep your content digital, right? I can draw, okay? I can draw. I design my t-shirts. I illustrate. I have my iPad. And if you want a t-shirt, hop on dressfordystopia.com, dressfordystopia.com. Okay, you could stay, zombie. Only because I like your name. And 42 is like my favorite number. Okay. But don't keep everything in the digital space. I know NFT is popular right now, but don't keep everything in the digital space. If you take nothing from me, I'm just some chick on TikTok for now. If you take nothing from me, take this. For the next 50 years that you exist, this information is super valuable. One, because I'm going to keep repeating it. Whatever the news is telling you that is popular, and you watch the crowd and they're like, this is it, and they're hyping you up, go in the opposite direction. Go in the opposite direction. Very important. Two, if you're a creator, it is very important that you hold on to your content. Don't get it lost. Like if we wake up, right? Because all of my videos right now are backed up. They're transcribed. Everything that I talk about that you guys watch, I have them in writing. And I'm also going to put them on a book, physical copy, because it's my intellectual property. So I'm going to hang on to it. I'm going to take all of my videos and I'm going to start just putting them where I want to put them. But own your stuff. Okay? That's what Auntie Joe is telling you guys. Own your stuff. Don't sit around waiting for somebody to discover you. Discover yourself. Put that energy into producing your own stuff, into publishing your own stuff. It's work in the time that you're in. Okay? Work in the time that you're in. What do I mean by that? Okay, if you want to write a book, I get it. Like it's really, I guess, commonplace or common knowledge is you go and you find a publisher. But we're moving towards, because what did I say? I don't live in the present. I live in the future. I am present, but that's not the same thing as saying I live in the present. So I'll say that again. I can sit and be present. So I'm talking to you guys right now. Thank you for checking out the podcast. I'm talking to you guys right now. My mind isn't really wandering. And if it does, I bring it back. Okay? But you have to start thinking about, okay, my brain just says, use your anxiety for good. I like that. Use your anxiety for good. If your anxiety can think of like all the worst possible shit that could happen, you get what I mean? If your anxiety can sit there and be like, oh, this could happen, move with that energy, right? Move with that energy. Don't sit around. Somebody just quoted me. Don't sit around waiting for discovery. Discover yourself. Amen. There's this video going around. You guys have probably seen it. It's like super viral now. It's a very attractive guy. He's like caramel skin. He was skinny. He was wearing like a yellow shirt. He's skinny and he's wearing a yellow shirt. And then it's like, he said 3 years later, and then he's like coming out of the water and it's like, he's like dripping wet and he's like super buff and just beautiful. Sorry, I'm blushing. I'm okay. And I sent that to one of my friends, and my friend said something like, man, like, imagine if I would have invested like 3 years in the right person. And I love her, but that mindset, I was like, yo, flip that. Imagine if you would have put 3 years into yourself, not into the right person. 3 years into yourself. 3 years into yourself. Invest in yourself. What do you want to be? Okay, I'm about to turn into a motivational speaker. That was not my intent. But here we go. Here we go. I'm sweating. So if you just ignore the shit is hot, okay? This is how I lose weight. Love your painting. Thank you. Okay, let's go. Ignore. Okay, 2 things. 1, I am preaching. Here we go. 1, the universe, the multiverse, reality, the simulation rewards the stubborn. I'll say that again. The universe, reality, the matrix, whatever you want to call it, rewards the stubborn. And for those of you who missed this and you're just jumping in, I will be posting this to my YouTube channel as well, assuming the video doesn't crash and delete everything. If it does, then I don't know, get a time machine. It rewards the stubborn. If you have a goal, set that goal. That should be your goal. Once again, there's nothing to say. This is not me taking away from being present. Be in the moment, right? I'll be the first to tell you. I talk about this on the podcast. If you're going to eat an ice cream, you eat that ice cream. You know what I mean? If you're in the hands of somebody that you love, feel that embrace. If your mind is wandering, pull that back to the moment. All of that, but table that shit over here. Okay? Over here. Oh, we got a Taurus in the house. Yes. That stubbornness is vibes, right? You just need to persist. Like, no matter what is going on, ignore that shit. Ignore that shit. Like, it doesn't, you have a goal. It is, I'm sorry, you're not going to get to the goal without some bullshit between point A and your goal. It's inevitable. So there's so many, I've had a couple people message me like, I want to do this, but then this happens. I want to do that, but then, yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Fuck that. Be stubborn. Be stubborn. You just have to be like, it's gonna happen. All this shit is noise. I don't care. Boom, boom, bam. Noise and distractions. The universe rewards stubbornness. An analogy that I've told myself for where I'm trying to go. And I will get there because I'm already there. Because time is an illusion. And all of time is happening right now. Okay. An analogy to tell myself, it's not even an analogy, it's facts. You get what I mean? Like, if you're an entrepreneur, I talked about this on the podcast. I keep referencing the podcast because you guys really need to check out my podcast. But if you're an entrepreneur, self-starter, small business owner, it's frustrating. I get it. But the moment you feel that frustration, that stubbornness needs to kick in. You got to put the middle finger up and keep it moving. You get what I mean? Like, you have to be stubborn. It is set up. The obstacles are set up for you to quit. It wants you to quit, but it also wants you to succeed. Duality. Are you going to quit? Because that's the only thing that stops you from achieving, is you quitting. For an entrepreneur, for a small, does it freeze? Sorry. For an entrepreneur, for a small business owner, for a content creator, for an artist, go hard. Go hard. Okay? Let's talk about Amazon. It took 14 years for them to be profitable. 14 years. 14 years. 14 years. I have quit shit after a month. Okay? 14 years. Now, if I had that same mindset and I had come up with a concept like Amazon years ago, I would not have been able to actualize Amazon into this reality. I'll say that again. If I had that mindset where shit didn't work, because I do, That definitely froze. My bad. It was a weird freeze too. Shit didn't work. I'm not allowed to go live on YouTube yet because I don't have enough followers. So I feel like this is all your fault. You guys need to follow me on YouTube so then I can do lives on YouTube because I don't like this app. But anyway, if I had the mindset that I had, because there was one time I started I used to have a page on Instagram where I would talk about like conspiracy theories, and then I got shadow banned. And this was years ago. This was like 2016 or whatever. And I got shadow banned. So I started a Patreon, and I think after like the first month, I quit it. And I just started doing YouTubes or whatever. But I went back like a week ago and I looked at my Patreon and I had subscribers, but I just thought that automatically, I do have a Telegram community. I don't have Twitch. I don't know how to use Twitch. If you could teach me how to use Twitch, I'll do it. But that's another thing, right? I think I joined Twitch, but I didn't follow through. I'm busting my own ass as well here, okay? So let's go in, all right? Let's go in on our shadow selves. Let's get it. So a lot of stuff I talk about, it's about is as much for me as it is for you, okay? I'm reassuring myself as well. Like I need to kick my own ass, right? But I went back. This is real talk. I went back and I looked at my Patreon, and the first month I had like 10 people sign up. And I quit because the thousands of followers that I had on Instagram didn't immediately sign up within the first month. I play myself. That's dumb. Now you go back to Amazon. If I had an idea like Amazon during the time when people didn't even know about the internet, not everybody had computers or whatever, and they just started out selling books. Thank you for subscribing to my YouTube. Appreciate you. They just started out selling books. If I was the CEO of, I'm not ashamed to say this is real talk, okay? If I was the CEO of Amazon and I started it and things weren't moving fast, Amazon would not exist. It might have been called something else because I would have just quit. Like, fuck this noise, I'll just go back. I'll just get a job. Fuck it, right? If you're not willing to go that hard, 14 years without making $1, if you're not willing to go that hard, to be that stubborn, then just get a regular job. Yeah, I said it. I'm not, I'm like the anti-motivational, all right? If you're not willing to just be like, fuck it, like I'm gonna paint these paintings and not sell one painting, I don't give a shit. If it takes me 20 years to sell this painting, then so be it. If I'm not prepared to put in the 20 years to eventually reach where I'm going, then I should just quit. Just stop. Why are you wasting your time? Why am I wasting my time? So this instant gratification bullshit, this like rise and grind, don't burn out, guys. First of all, that's another thing. All these people that are like rise and grind and, go hard and fuck that. Don't do that. Take your time. Use time. What did I say in the video? Use time. Don't let time use you. Use time. Don't let time use you. I am abundance commented, people quit because we can't know when this moment comes through, the moment of breakthrough. That's true. But that's why I said the universe rewards the stubborn. Isn't that strange also that our society is hardwired for instant gratification? Yeah, they're setting us up for failure. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you. Yeah, because I would love to go, I would love to go live on YouTube, not TikTok, but I have like 1,000 followers on there. So help a sister out. You're also helping yourself out. Also check out the website, dressfordystopia.com. It points you to Jolie Artist, and I've got t-shirts, I got posters, and I'm going to have more stuff coming. Follow me on Instagram. Yeah. But we're moving. The reason why I'm telling you guys about the t-shirts, it's not for me. I mean, it is for me, but my ultimate goal, what I'm working towards is a lot of the stuff that Joe, the Netflix phone app has this new short film video section similar to your suggestion. Yeah, somebody actually stole, it's a funny story. So I posted that video and somebody who was working for Netflix emailed me. I have a screen recording and they're like, thank you for this idea. My wife is actually working with Netflix and they're going to take this idea, and I have it. I saved it, and they're going to give the idea to Netflix. And I was like, great. Go ahead and mention me, because I clearly was the one who, I put this out there. And and they were like, my wife says she doesn't know you. And I was like, wow, that's cool. But you know what? That's okay. At the end of the day, congratulations, I played myself. At the end of the day, it's not even a lesson learned, because I will continuously keep putting out videos and putting out ideas. That's not going to stop me. You know why? Because this brain, this mind, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. I should get compensated, but it doesn't matter. I don't care. That's not my goal. My goal is, at the end of the day, what I want to do. The reason why I'm telling you guys to follow me on YouTube, the reason why I'm talking about, the t-shirts and stuff like that, and, the donations, all of that, is that ultimately I want to produce a show like Rick and Morty. I want to produce a show like Midnight Gospel. I want people talking about this stuff. You know why? Because the majority of messages, DMs, emails I get from people are people who are telling me that, thank you for your videos. I used to feel crazy. I get that a lot. I used to feel alone. I get that a lot. I have nobody to talk to about these concepts. I get that a lot. So it has become a passion of mine. I'm trying not to be emotional. I don't know what my face is doing. Like, this area right here is like trying to generate tears. Stop it. Anyway, it has become a passion of mine to produce more of these topics on a grander scale, on a bigger scale, right? So that people like you, don't laugh, people like you don't feel alone, don't feel crazy, right? So that we live in a world where philosophy becomes important again, where we can have philosophical discussions. Let them fall. Nah, I don't. I'm not going to mess up my makeup. So I don't cry like that. So that people can have these discussions, you get what I mean, with people where they don't feel crazy. They can be like, see, this is exactly what I was talking about. You know what I mean? That's important to me. So that is my end goal. That is my 15, 20 years. I'm prepared to put in 20 years or however long, even after the fact. Just laying the foundation, however long it takes me to get to where I'm going, I'm prepared to put in the time so that overall people like us that like talking about these things, that think these things, nothing wrong with crying. I'm Nigerian. But yeah, that's important to me. And so my movement is in 20 years, in 15 years, if it takes that long, so be it. Because it's important. We do need to start talking about the nature of our reality and having these sort of discussions. And it's very important that more and more people start to think the way I think. Not like me, okay? So let me rephrase that. I don't want people to think exactly what I think. I want people to think with an open mind. To not be afraid to challenge dogma. To not be afraid to challenge conventional ways of looking at the world. To not be afraid to try new things. To not be afraid to be different. I want to live in that world where everyone's wild. Because listen, if everyone's wild, like look at how boring everything is right now. That world is boring right now, right? Like every time I'm on the highway, it's like black car, white car, gray car, black car, white car, gray car. Every once in a while you see like a red car or a blue car, but for the most part, it's boring, right? You go to people's homes and it's like abstract. There's no depth, right? Nothing against abstract. It's just not my thing. There's like all the furniture is the same color. There's no like wallpaper. Everything's like one color. Everything is like boring, right? Because everybody is afraid to stand out. You get what I mean? Put acid in the drinking water. I'm not condoning or, whatever. Nobody drinks tap water anymore, so I don't know if that would work. But everybody, yeah, nobody wants to stand out. Now imagine we lived in a world where everybody had cool ideas and people weren't afraid to share them. You get it? Like, how much more fun would the world be? Right? Because here's the way I see it. If I'm destined, I hope not. I absolutely hope not. But I hope this is my last incarnation, because honestly, I'm over it. But I'm serious. But if I have to come back here, I want to come back to a world that's dope as fuck, right? Like, I don't want to come back to a world that looks like a freaking dystopian novel. You get what I mean? Like, I want to come back to a world that is dope as fuck, and that the people are dope and the cars are dope. Because, like, I look at cars, for example, from, like, I keep talking about cars, but I don't know why I'm talking about cars, but I look at cars from, like, the 50s, like hot rods, from the 40s and the 50s and stuff like that. Like, beautiful. And now we have this, I don't know what we have, right? It just seems like over time, things became just boring and basic, right? I don't want to reincarnate to a basic ass universe. Like, I want to come back to a world where people just, I don't know, like, it's normal for people to just walk around like they're in a punk rock concert, or they just came back from, I don't know what's even like cool anymore, right? Everyone's just Burning Man. Yeah, I want to come to like a Burning Man, a Burning Man world where everyone's just like, yeah, like we're just, instead of let's go drinking, right? I want to live in a world where alcohol is not the drug of choice, where mushrooms and psychedelics are the drug of choice, right? And I maybe grew up in the 70s. Maybe I reincarnated in the 70s and now I'm here. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that was my past life, but I want to bring that back, right? Like, imagine we lived in a reality where we need a shirt that says, let this be my last incarnation. I'm on it. Watch the space, dressfordystopia.com. If you want t-shirt ideas, or you want me to design stuff, DM me on Insta, not on this app, I hate it, and I will come up with ideas. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so imagine we live in a world, in reality, where people would go to a bar, but instead of alcohol being served in that universe, it was like all these different types of mushrooms, right? Right? And like LSD was like, let's go out to, I don't go out, like it's Friday night and I'm hanging out with you guys. It's 7:00. It's San Diego. What am I doing? I'm talking to you. Because I don't want to go out, because it's fucking boring. I don't want to go to the bar and watch people get drunk. Like, I want to talk about dope shit, right? So I have to talk to you guys about it, which is not a have. Like, I get to talk to you guys about it. This is like, cool. Hey, Jamie. But imagine we live in a world where like LSD wasn't illegal, where, mushrooms weren't illegal, where psychedelics weren't illegal. And you literally just go to a bar and like go to a restaurant even and have like, actually get out there, right? Like, that was normal. You went to a bar and everybody just like had a trip, and you just like, I don't know, there was like cool music playing and you're just like, ooh, like it's all zen and shit. Like, I would actually go out. Like, let's do that. Anyway, yeah, that's where I'm moving towards, because the way things are looking right now, like it's giving dystopia. You know what I mean? Like, it's giving sci-fi dystopia, and I'm not liking it. I'm not liking it. Brazil, all drugs are legal, I believe. So I want the future to be like Brazil. Do you mind telling us how old you are? I don't believe in age. Age is a construct. Go to my video. Go to my channel. There's a video there's two videos. One is, does the birthday song age you or contribute to aging? And then the video posted after that, and watch that. Give that a watch. Thanks for the rose. Appreciate you. But yeah, my age doesn't matter, because the way we gauge age, it's weird, right? So we just arbitrarily decided, and not arbitrarily or decided, it was like enforced on us that every time the sun rises, it doesn't rise, whatever. Every time the sun rises, that's a day. And every time it sets, that's the day ending, right? But it could have been anything. It could have been a rooster crowing. It could have been basically, I don't know, crickets chirping. That could have been the start of the day. So we just decided that this is a day. And then 365 sunsets makes a year. These are arbitrary constructs that human beings came up with to sort of force us into these, like, oh, I've got to be here at 7 o'clock, and like further, I feel like we are in a dystopia, honestly, but to further control our lives, right? And then what it does is it causes a psychosomatic sort of effect on the face and on the body, right? I don't think that age has anything to do with how many times you witness the sun rise or set. I think it has everything to do with you degrading your body over time. And so I go out of my way to make sure, I don't actually go out of my way because I don't eat anything that is inflammatory. And I try to consume as much anti-inflammatory foods as I possibly can. I try to limit the amounts of toxins that I expose my body to. I try to limit the amounts of carcinogens and preservatives and additives and all of that stuff that break your body down, because that is what I think contributes to the aging process. Aging is a degradation of the body. It's cause and effect, causation, right? You keep putting poison into your body, you're gonna break your body down. They tell us it's because you've seen the sun rise and set so many times, so that's why your face is wrinkling. But I'm gonna tell you guys a story. Do with this information what you will. When I was younger, I used to go out drinking. I haven't had a drink in like a decade. And the last drink that I actually had, I woke up the next day and there was a line right here. It was like right here. And I remember looking in the mirror and I thought it was a hair. So I kept going like this to get it off my forehead. It was not a hair, it was a wrinkle. And like I said, this was like a decade ago. And I was like, what is this? Am I cracking? My black is not supposed to be cracking right now. What is going on? But I've been drinking. I've been going out with friends because that was normal. And I was drinking alcohol. From that day, that was it. I was like, you know what? I'm good. Like, I'm good. I drank a bunch of water. I went running and I sweat that stuff out. And that was pretty much the last time I went out drinking, like I was done. And it reversed. I don't have that deep line in my forehead. Are y'all laughing at me? I don't have that deep line in my forehead anymore. And so it went away. So whatever damage I was causing, I reversed it by taking control of what I was putting into my body and on my body. So believe it or not, but this was a decade ago and it's not, I'm not going to zoom in because I don't need y'all looking at my piece or whatever. But I mean, you can see actually. See it? There's nothing there. It's gone. And I don't do the Botox or anything like that. Look, I can move my forehead. It absolutely went away. So it is possible. So that changed my perspective on aging. I realized it was just a consequence of the shit that I was doing to my body. Some of us might live that long, others won't. Society isn't designed for most of us to live long. It's not even about living long. I don't particularly care about. Am I comfortable with telling my age? I don't mind that. But my point is, and I've told it to people countless of times before, so if you go to my YouTube channel, and subscribe, look through my live. Anyway, yeah, I've talked about my age before, but the point is that once again, the point is that we live in a society that keeps trying to force you to, what is this number? And then that number, it's like, okay, now this is what you're supposed to sort of look like. So I guess for the sake of this conversation, I am 95 years old. I'm just kidding. So it is possible for you to reverse the damage. And once again, it's not about living long, because you could eat perfectly and then, the gods forbid, you like get hit by a car or something like that. It's about living well. Are you guys laughing? I'm immortal. I'm a vampire. That too. That's why I don't go out, actually. I just told you guys this thing about going to bars and shit like that. I lied. I am actually a vampire. Why do you not want to answer? I just explained it. It doesn't matter. They think I'm joking. I know. I laugh so that they feel better. If I were like you, I wouldn't even like, because I could say stuff, yeah? I was so interested that it glitched. I could say stuff and you guys would just laugh. Like I could be like, I'm an alien. I'm not an alien. But I could be like, I'm an alien from Venus. And you guys would just be like, ha ha. Right? Did y'all see the fangs? Oh my God, you know what? I'd let you turn me. Okay, stop. Y'all are getting weird. Okay, anyway, I forgot what I was going to say. Somebody commented, I'm guessing 47 now. I'm 67. Somebody commented in the video I posted out of the blue. Somebody commented and they called me an agent. And I was like, agent? And then it sat with me. I've never been called an agent before. And then because of the way my brain works, I was like, yo, wait, am I an agent? If I was an agent, would I even know? Wait, how am I an agent? What does that even mean? I'm not 67, guys. I'm lying. Whatever your heart feels, that's your age. There's no such thing as age. That's my point. That's my point, right? Like, that's the point. That's the point. But, yeah, I don't know what an agent is. I think they mean, like, I think they mean that, like, I secretly work for the government or something. And so all of these videos where I'm telling you guys that, like, fuck this world and, like, none of this shit is real and wake up and, you know, don't trust what you're being told. Apparently these are things that agents would tell people. Yeah, I guess that would be the thing. That would be the thing. I'm 49. I'm just kidding. I'm not 49. I'm not going to tell you my age. I'm going to throw a bunch of numbers at you. Like, it doesn't matter. But yeah, that stuck with me. I'm an agent. And then I was like, well, if I was an agent, like, would I know? Mr. Anderson. Oh. Anyway. Agents wouldn't wear a Rick and Morty shirt. I don't know. What if I'm like a deep agent? Like, that's what you think. Agent was a typo. I don't want to go live with you. What else would you be trying to say other than agent that you could, like, type that out? You know what I mean? Are you still trying to guess my age between 29 and 34? I'm 65. You know what's weird? Okay, so a couple of shows, I gotta let you guys go at some point. A couple of shows I've been watching. There's one show I watched, Vampire Diaries. And, like, every time I watch the show, it kind of freaks me out a little bit. Like, it's a little creepy. I'm not 65. I'm also not Beyonce. I get that a lot. I think it's just the hair. I don't look like Beyonce at all. Like, she's, like, super fair skin, and I'm not. I mean, like, this light is intense right now, but I'm not light skinned. And she's really pretty, but I feel like my cheekbones are super intense. I think the only thing I realized I think that the reason why people think I look like Beyonce is because, like, the distance between my nose and hair is similar to hers. And I, like, correct it with, like, lip liner. That's it. And, like, the hair color might be, maybe. Originals was better. I don't want to watch Originals because I feel like it's gonna suck. You know what I mean? Like, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I put in a good, like, 4 months watching, I'm literally light skinned. Like, the light makes me appear bright. There's a light. That's why I'm sweating. Look at all this. But there's a light right on my face. So it's hot as shit right now. But I'm, like, brown. Like, I'm brown skin. So I'm not like similar in complexion, with, I gotta watch at least 5 episodes. Fine. And I am. Oh my God. What is your MBTI? This person guessed it. How did you guess it, Jay? How did you know? How did you know? I had a cracked window in my home, and yesterday I noticed it no longer cracked. Can you explain? You shifted reality. It's okay. It happens to all of us. Originals was pretty good. All right. I did watch, what is it? The one after. So I watched Vampire Diaries. I am INTJ, but I'm trying to change the J to the P. Because I'm a Virgo and I'm a judgmental bitch. Like, it's terrible. And I'm working on being a better person and a better human being. I'm working on being more balanced and fully integrated, but I'm definitely INTJ the last I checked. I could have changed because I've been working once again on not being so fucking judgmental. But the J's still there. The J's still there. Legacies was mid. Legacies was mid. I agree. So that's why I'm thrown off, right? Because Vampire Diaries was like, I got called an agent once by someone accusing me of being a heathen. I've been called a heathen. Vampire Diaries was like, okay, it started off well. By the end, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it was all vampires, and then it ended with like a succubus. No, was she a succubus? It was like a two succubi and the siren, and then like Lucifer was in there, and it was a lot going on. Legacies, I just watched just to have going on in the background, and in the middle, I've not gotten into originals. But the point of me bringing this up is that for Legacies, every time I watch that show, same thing with Vampire Diaries, I'm going to say the same thing. Like, they'll have a character show up that's literally like, did I ever get into True Blood? True Blood was my shit. Suck it. Suck it. Okay, anyway, I digress. What was I talking about? Yes, what freaked me out about Legacies and Vampire Diaries is like, why don't they put these people in college? Because the whole show, like straight up the whole show, I keep saying like, these motherfuckers never go to class. Like, the fact that they graduated, weird. These motherfuckers never go to class, excuse my French, 1. 2, the people that they're hooking up with are old. Like, what is, like, Stefan and Damon are like at least 150 years old, and they're hanging out in high school and hitting on 16 and 17-year-olds. Why are they trying to normalize this? It's giving pedophilia. I'm not okay with that. Like, they keep doing that, and I don't like it. They did it with Legacies as well. They had the Muse, which I loved her. The girl that was the Muse, I loved her. Okay, the actress, loved her. But she was like 1,000 years old, hanging out with 17-year-old, and I'm like, what is it? What do they even have to talk about? This is weird. This is a weird vibe. Just put them in. Somebody said they're R&B singers. Stop. Stop it. That is terrible. Put them in college. Like, they eventually, I know in Vampire Diaries, they eventually ended up in college, but still, like, it's gross. Like, just cast them in college. Freaking weird. Uber cougar. At that point, you're not even a cougar. I mean, I get it. Like, she looked 17, but is that what it is? So it's okay so long as you look 17? Because that's gross. I'm not okay with that. I'm really not okay with that. I don't know why they keep doing that. They do this all the time. They did this with way back, throwback. I'm about to. Buffy, they did that with Buffy. The whole Buffy, she was 16. Angel was like 300 years. I don't know if he was 300, but he was old. And, like, the whole time I'm watching this romance, and, like, I get it, but, like, she's 16. I feel like I would have to beat somebody's ass. Like, I don't care if you're a vampire and you stopped aging. You're still old, and she's 16. What do they have to talk about? They do this a lot. They need to stop doing that. I don't understand the saber-tooth. Oh, not a cougar. She's a saber-tooth. I like that. Oh, okay. It's about time for them just being an illusion or a construct. Well, maybe that's what they're going off of. Anyway, what show are we talking about? We're talking about all of the shows. All of the supernatural shows that keep having weird romances. Twilight did it. Legacies did it. What's it? I just forgot right now. Vampire Diaries did it. All of them. They do it. They have 16-year-old girls having weird relationships with grown like ancestors. It's weird. I haven't watched Supernaturals yet. Hey, Iceland. I haven't watched Supernaturals. I watched actually, no, take that back. I watched a few episodes. It scared me. I'm not gonna lie, it scared me. I still have I could still see the first episode where the chick was in like on the ceiling and then there was like fire. And I was like, oh hell no, I'm not, I cannot. But you know what's a good show? I will eventually watch Supernatural because I've heard so much about it, but the demons, I don't know, I wasn't prepared for it. But you know what's a good show that I just watched? It took me some time. Okay, House of Dragons is dope. Lucifer is dope. I'm rooting for Damon. I mean, I was until the last episode. That was kind of gross, but it's Game of Thrones, I guess. But I am, of course, Westworld. Come on. But I am rooting for Damon. Is that weird? It's the Doctor Who fan in me. I was like, the Doctor, I just saw the Doctor's ass. That's strange. It's a bit strange, isn't it? But House of Dragons is good. I have a lot. We could talk. Okay, we'll just talk about it. Let's talk about TV shows. In Her Eyes. Oh my God. I recommend that to everybody. It's a slow burn, dope show. There's a show I just finished watching last weekend. It took me about 4 days to decide whether or not I liked it. One of the episodes made me cry like actual tears out of my eyeballs, which is rare. Like, you know, I try to be, you know, a G or whatever. But, hello, England. Sorry, that's a terrible accent. I'm sorry. It came out of my mouth before I said it. Hello, English person. But. Lovecraft Country, wow. I still have scenes of the little girls with the hands like walking backwards and shit. That show was crazy. It's crazy. They really, the writer, the director, the producers, when they said we're going to do horror, I can't even say the word horror. I'm so sad it got canceled. I feel like it was good for just the one season. Because honestly, I'm not even going to lie. I'm not going to lie. It was a lot. Like, I was watching it. No, it was a lot. Like, I think it's worth it. It's good just the one season. Go back and rewatch it and rewatch it and rewatch it. It was a lot for me. Like, after 2-3 episodes, I had to take a break because I was like, I'm feeling things. Like, I'm feeling all sorts of things. I'm horrified. I'm inspired. I'm freaked out. What the fuck is going on? That show, when they said, we're going to do horror, they really meant that shit because that shit stayed. It's still with me. Like, it's still, like, I'm still, like, that one scene where, like, motherfuckers are coming out. I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, thanks for all the hearts. But yeah, if you just, you know, Halloween is coming. We're talking about Lovecraft Country. Halloween is coming. Do yourself a favor. Sit back and just enjoy. Because it starts off, I just was watching it. It starts off with that one scene with, you know, with a baseball bat and Jackie Robinson. I was like, okay, cool. Okay, he's dreaming. And then I was like, all right, the past sucked. Cool. And then I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? And then literally every 20 minutes, I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Yo, what the fuck is going on? Yo, what the fuck is going on? My theory after watching that show, though, I'm sweating. My theory after watching that show, though, is that the baseball bat, that was good. That got me. I was like, beat their ass. Okay, my theory, though, about after watching that show, I wonder. All right, I'm not gonna talk about it right now, but it is a good show. Definitely worth a watch. Definitely horror. Definitely horrific. Definitely like intense, and you need to be ready for all of the feels, and also to just sit with like just like in your chest area, just be like, they really just told us everything that's going on right now. I don't know, man. I don't know. I would love another season. The fiction from H.P. Lovecraft's been in the grave pleases me. I love shows. Do you know what I do love the integration of like the Korean scenes, and like I love that. They've been doing that a lot actually. HBO they did that for Watchmen as well. And some other things I'm forgetting, but I love HBO. It's my favorite thing right now. I was going to say something, the thing I forgot. Oh, my favorite thing in the world is when they come out with shows. I'm about to say something. Is when they come out with shows and they cast people of color in these shows. And then people lose their fucking minds. Like, I love, like, I'm gonna put my hair down to cover my sweaty armpits. It's hot. I'm here now at this point. My makeup's all melted, but I'm here to entertain you. I love I love it when motherfuckers lose their mind. I just started watching the Lord of the Rings, the new one, the Rings of Power. And I'm watching it, and like, here's a black hobbit, and I was like, oh, they're got to be pissed. And oh, it's a black elf. Oh, they're about to be pissed. They're about to be pissed. I love it. I love it. I love it. The one about the Lord of the Rings, they're not black elves. Why are the elves black? This fictional character that was created by a writer who was clearly racist. Otherwise, like, he would have put them in there. Like, why are you ruining his legacy? I'm just kidding. I don't know if Tolkien was racist or not, but it's hilarious to me when people get butthurt because their fictional character that was imagined is not, whatever. That's just fun for me. Keep doing it. Yeah, keep doing it. Keep doing they always go hard. They always go into the reviews too. Like, I am upset. This was for what's it? What was the other one? The Hunger Games outrage. That was a throwback. That was an old school. There's a good one. What was it? What was the one that came out with death? Come on, help me out here. It's on Netflix. Yeah, I don't know much about Tolkien, so thank you for correcting me. And maybe if he was around, he would probably be like, yeah, y'all need to shut the fuck up. Like, it is what it is. But like, who cares? Sandman, thank you. I went and I saw the previews for it and I was like, oh, this looks dope. I'm going to watch it. Then I went and I read the reviews after. The emotions. This is woke. I don't like it. Why is Joan Constantine even a thing? Or Joanna. It should be John. Because this fictional character is not supposed to have a penis, god damn it. People are wild. And yeah, y'all were talking about Ariel. The seaweed is always green. Now, the lobster was clearly black. Like, I just feel like, who cares? You get what I mean, right? But meanwhile, we have The Last Samurai, The Prince of Persia, Genghis Khan. I'm not even going to go into it. It's just, you get what I'm saying here. I like it. I love it. I love the black Spider-Man. I love it. It's just, and then they call it's too woke. Is it woke? Let's talk about what it means to be woke. It basically means that you have awoken up to the fact that there are other people on the planet that exist outside of a specific norm. And now we're integrating them into culture, into our society, instead of typecasting them. We're starting to be aware and awake, and we're seeing them and we're incorporating them. It's okay. That's good. That's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. Yeah, other people exist. Other people exist. So yeah, I am loving the House of Dragons. The dreadlocks, the white dreadlocks, the Targaryens, I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm here for it. All of that. Give me all of that. Yes, please. Yes, please. More of that. Thank you. So anyway, that's my rant. There are other humans. It's okay. It's okay. I don't like get shaken out of my sleep. Oh my God, there are other people? This is America. Sorry. That's not what I was going to talk about. It was not what I was going to talk about, but here we are. I love it. So yeah, those are the shows that I'm watching. They parodied the term woke, but ironically became a parody of themselves. I love that. I love that when it all just comes back full circle. Do the voice again. I don't even know the voice. I'm just being goofy at this point, but it is funny. I need more of that. They thought they could watch fantasy to escape. Here we are. Even in your fantasies, we are coming. Sorry. I'm sorry. There are other characters. Like, come on. Like, there's, okay, Game of Thrones. Literally everybody else is there. It's like 3 people that are like black, and they're like, oh, no. None of that. These fictional characters should be this. Anyway, more of that, please. I love it. More of it. Thank you. Thank you. Here we are, creeping into your fantasies. But yeah, watch Lovecraft Country. It is not for the faint of heart. It's not. I watched it and I still have feelings. Have I seen Midnight Gospel? Only 1 episode. Probably worth watching. I just feel like that's a kind of show that you watch like with somebody who's also into that. And you watch that like microdosing or on mushrooms or something like that. And I don't have like a real life friend to do that with. So I don't want to be having all these deep ass thoughts and like nobody to talk to about. I guess I could do that one day. Like just binge watch a lot of Midnight Gospel. Excuse me, I just burped, sorry. And then and then hop on the live and I guess talk to you guys. I could not get into Adventure Time. There was a lot going on there. Yeah. But I did like Dipper Pines. What's that show? Man, my memory. I did like that show. With Dipper Pines and the Hat, Grunkle Stan. It's on the tip of my tongue. But yeah, I like that. Wasn't on anything. I know. I feel like intuitively, I feel like I have to be on something. Infinity Train, I tried it. Still couldn't really get on it. And me spiraling watching it high. Yeah, I want to spiral. I want to spiral. Cried at the end. What did you cry at the end of? Did I see Moral? Alright, no, I have not. Can you ask if anyone liked Solar Opposites? Did anybody like Solar Opposites? Gravity Falls, thank you. Did anybody like Solar Opposites? I've been asked to ask. If anybody in the comments. Now, for Midnight Gospel, what episode would you recommend to start with? So, for Doctor Who, for example, when I meet a person, for Doctor Who, when I meet a person that has never watched Doctor Who before, the episode that I recommend is Midnight. I don't know if there are any Whovians on here, but Midnight is my absolute favorite episode. One of my absolute favorite episodes of Doctor Who. I've seen it probably like 30 times. Maybe Mama, I'm straight with you. I'm 2% black. Okay. David is my doctor. Same. Midnight was fucked up. I love that episode. What does that say about me? Why did you think it was fucked up? Thank you. I love that episode because they never caught the monster. So it's out there just fucking with people. Just out there fucking with people. I had nightmares about that episode. That's a dope episode. I love that. It's my favorite episode. But yeah. What would be the go-to episode that you would recommend for somebody who has never watched Midnight Gospel? Feel free to leave it in the comments below. Matt all the way. I love Matt. I do love Matt. It's a toss-up between David and Matt. David Tennant and Matt Smith. It's a toss-up. So the train attendant. Oh, the lady that was like, no. Sorry. The mom episode from Midnight is sure to get you spiraling and in tears. Oh, okay. I'll check it out. The one about magic was pretty awesome. Okay. All right. Sounds like good vibes. I'm going to check it out. We're talking about Midnight Gospel for those who are hopping in. I have watched 1 episode. So far, like I said, I need somebody to vibe with. David is greater than Matt. Sorry, not sorry. Ooh. All right. I'm not Beyonce. It's like an animated podcast. I also love the Doctor Who Shakespeare episode. Well, that was a good one. Anytime the angels are the main protagonists. I'm not Beyonce. Okay, once again, I will address the people who are coming in and commenting Beyonce. I don't feel like I look like her. I think what's going on, it's the combination of the color, the hair color, and then she's got the same distance between her nose and her top lip that I do, and then I try to compensate with lip liner. So that's it. But Weeping Angels. I think that for the first episode with the Weeping Angels was a good one. When we first encounter them. Right? Thank you. Peace among worlds. When we first encounter the Weeping Angels, when Tennant is stuck in time and Martha, they're watching the video and it's got all the hints to it and it's like, don't blink. I think the episode is actually called Don't Blink. I like that. I like that. I think David had all the scary shadows. I love the first Doctor though, not gonna lie. The fourth Doctor was my first Doctor, so I have like a soft spot in my heart for him. Tom Baker. I want a scarf. Yeah. We're talking about Doctor Who for those non-Whovians who are like, what the fuck are they talking about? Sorry. We're speaking our own sort of weird language here. Living to death is a wild concept. Yeah, the fact that they steal you. So the Weeping Angel is a monster on Doctor Who. And what they do is they take you out of time. So they steal your potential, for example. So like, imagine I'm sitting here, my painting is actually an angel. It comes to life, it reaches out because I'm not watching it, it touches me, and all of a sudden you guys I'm gone, and I get moved back in time to like the 1700s. I don't die, not really, but I'm, whatever it was that I was going to accomplish in this reality, somebody just blasphemed in the comments. I was thinking about watching Doctor Who, but it didn't look great. That hurts my soul. Why would I say that? I don't know. I like fucking with people. Anyway, so I got shifted back to like the 1600s. So I don't necessarily die. I still get to live out my lifespan, but anything that I was going to accomplish in this reality, I never accomplished. And that was the Weeping Angels. They fed off of your potential. They killed you in the most polite way, right? That episode, it's called Don't Blink. I think it's season 4. Might be wrong. But that episode had me looking at statues sideways. Like every once in a while, if I see a statue, I give it a little stink eye. Like, you stay the fuck away from me. Like, watching you. So that was a good episode. For the person who commented that they were going to watch Doctor Who, but it didn't look good, I get it. You don't want to start from episode 1, season 1. And I also stopped watching. I'm not going to lie. I didn't watch the one with the old guy. I don't remember his name, but I could see Capaldi, Peter Capaldi. I know it sounds terrible, but I couldn't vibe with him. Him and Jenna Coleman, their vibe was weird. You know what I mean? I don't know. But they're coming out with a new Doctor, which also had people in their feelings. I think it's going to start this fall, if it hasn't started already. So I'm excited to check that out. I'm excited to check it out. But at the last couple of Doctors, the last couple of incarnations, I couldn't really get into the show. But Tennant, definitely, and David, Tennant, and Matt, my two favorite for sure. But don't start, if you've never watched Doctor Who, don't start with like the first episode. I forget his name, Chris something or another. Nobody likes him. Chris Eccleston. Does anybody like Chris's Doctor? All the Whovians in here. Did anybody like Chris's Doctor? Because nobody liked Chris's Doctor. Nobody. Like, you loved Chris? Wow. That's new. I've never, ever heard of anybody liking him. Interesting. I'm judging you a little bit, just kidding. I loved going back and watching him after, but when I first started watching, like, this guy is like, that sounded like a lie. But the first time I watched it, I was like, ugh, I don't like this guy. But when you go back and you watch him, it was good. It was good. They had a good bond. They did. Okay. I will give you that. I like the way that he was with, with Rose. I didn't like how Tennant, David's doctor, treated Martha. Martha needs to be the new doctor somehow. They need to figure that out. Like, they need to make that happen. I don't know. She should have actually been the new doctor, because the whole time they had it where she was chasing and pining after him. And I was like, in what universe? She's a baddie. Like, in what universe is this even? A whole doctor? And with that face, like, so they did her wrong. I didn't like that at all. Martha Jones, bring her back as a doctor. Give her the respect she deserves. Anyway, need to watch Doctor Who just for that episode. Yeah, they stripped her agency. Yeah, the whole thing was for UK audiences. I get that now. Thanks for stopping in, Mark. Jamie, I imagine you as our real life doctor. Nah, don't do that. They could never handle them together. Yeah, they didn't, I didn't like that. They dogged her out. That was hard to watch. The whole, like, season that they were together, and she was just like, and he just kept dogging her out for Rose. I was like, Rose? Really? I mean, Rose is cute or whatever, but whatever. She's literally a doctor. Anyway, I think we've talked about, like, literally everything. We're not talking about quantum physics anymore. We're talking about TV shows, which is fine. I don't mind it, actually. It's nice. It's nice to talk about, like, you know, normal stuff every once in a while. People say that. They say I look like every painting that I'm sitting in front of. But if you go and you look at my other videos, there was, like, different paintings behind me. Knowing what you know is your mind loud all the time. No, it's actually not. Which is good. It used to be at a time. But I've worked with it, and now the internal monologue over time has become more and more quiet. I talk about it and how I reached this point on my podcast, Your One Black Friend, which you should check out. Absolutely. So many of these shows. You should check out his Dark Materials. I watched the first season, and I did like it. I also read the books. I have not watched the second season yet. Is it good? How can you tell the difference between having a lucid dream and an out-of-body experience? I don't know. That's a good question, though. And I don't know if dreaming isn't technically an out-of-body experience, because depending on how you interpret a dream, if you believe that dreaming is you sort of going into other dimensions, then they could basically be the same. Okay, so somebody's saying the second season of his Dark Materials was good. Okay, cool. Oh, that's a new one. Somebody said you kind of remind me of Grimes. Never heard that in my entire life before. Excuse me, I got a cough. Ew, that was gross. Sorry. When you're talking, I've been talking for like 2 hours. When you're talking, you don't breathe. And if you don't breathe, you get congested and then you have to cough. So sorry, I have the mic right by my freaking mouth, so you guys got to hear all of that. That was like a new kind of, was it ASR? Sorry. Anyway, it's getting late, isn't it? Do you enjoy reading? Of course. Of course. Somebody asked me the other day, like in real life, they're like, so what do you like to do for fun? And I was like, I paint, I draw, I design t-shirts, I listen to audiobooks, I write, and I film videos for my channel. And then they're like, well, outside of creating or doing things that sort of contribute to the creative process, what do you like to do for fun? And I was like, that's it. That's fun for me. Like, I'm not, what is there else to do? I look at books like drugs. If you read a good book, wow, that shit will change your mind. And fundamentally and for longer, because drugs wear off after a while, but a good book that shifts your perspective, shifts your mindset, I did do the painting behind me. And every painting that you see in every one of my videos, I did do. But a good book shifts your perspective, shifts your mindset, and stays with you. It changes the way you perceive reality. It's better than a drug in a way. What of reading books on drugs? Some of my favorite books have been about books on drugs, or a bit about drugs, right? LSD and the Spirit of the Universe is a good one. DMT, the Spirit Molecule, is another good one. Any book by, I can't think of his name right now. What's his name? Oh, come to me. But yeah, some of my favorite books have been books about drugs. The Doors of Perception. I love you. Thank you. How did you know? Vibing, non-locality. I love it. I love how we're entangled like that. Have you tried any psychedelics? Yes, I have. Actually, just so for the last year, I've been on and off microdosing an insane, well, no, not insane. I've been microdosing golden teachers. And about a week ago, I got, it's called penis envy. They're just a mushroom. So I tried that. And this is how I take normal doses, right? So sometimes I'll microdose, but then every once in a while, I'll take like a regular dose. Is 42 one of your favorite numbers because of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? That's exactly why. It is. It's the answer to life, the universe, and everything. But what I do is, instead of taking like a big dose all at once or a normal dose all at once, I'll take micro doses throughout the day. So I'll start with like 0.5. And then a couple, 3 hours, I'll take another 0.5. And then a couple, 3 hours, I'll take another 0.5. So that my body has time to acclimate to what I'm putting in. And so I did that last week. And it was a pretty cool experience. Didn't have too many visuals there, but it allowed my body to sort of acclimate to it. There was one time I took like a bunch at once, but it still wasn't a bunch. It was like 1.5. If that. It might have been even half of that. And I did see, like, when I closed my eyes, not like in real time, but when I closed my eyes, I did see an entity. It presented as a dragon, or they presented as dragons, and they told me that I was a dragon princess, which was weird vibes. I was like, I bet, cool. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that information. Like, if legit I was a dragon princess, how the fuck does that help me now? Can I breathe fire? No. So why are you telling me this? I feel like they just be saying shit. You're a dragon princess. Okay, and I'm here now. Is that going to pay my bills? Can you imagine? You get high, you talk back to like these entities that are trying to be all like zen. Hey, we're here. We're here to tell you about the universe. You, in the past life, you're Daenerys. Dracarys. You give off this different type of energy. Your daughter was a demon slayer. You know, like, they just like say shit to you, right? You're a dragon princess. The fuck am I supposed to do with that? Cool. Can I get a dragon now then? Can I get a dragon now? I want a dragon right now. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But, yeah. I want a dragon right now. Somebody said, I loved your scene from... Oh, that's weird. No, that's not me. Sorry. Nothing against sex workers, but that's not me. Sometimes I think they are just messing with us. I do wonder... Future Man. Now, what is Future Man? I do wonder if they are messing with us, right? Like, people have all of these sort of like... Thank you, Donald. People have like all of these experiences under mushrooms, and they come out and they feel like this oneness with all of things, and I saw some shit. I saw aliens. But like, what if literally it's just like humans in a parallel universe, and every time you get high, you're actually just going to a parallel universe, and they know we're coming, but they know we're dumb. So like, just like Rick, when he went to like the battery universe, and he like wore the costume so he could look like an alien, but he was just a doc, you know, like a scientist or whatever. So like when we go there, like, oh, here comes another fucking human, right? They dress up in like their little outfits, and they're like, ooh, or aliens, but they're just like over us and our dumb shit. I don't know. What got you the realization of the video you made today, past is the present? So I talked about that on this on this live, and I will post this live on my YouTube channel, so that for the people who have been here this whole time, I'm not sort of regurgitating the same information. Because I went in and I was like super amped and I was like, yeah, fuck the present. I didn't say fuck the present, but so yeah, so check out my YouTube. You don't really have to follow me on here. Rosie just followed me, thank you, but I don't like this. Follow me on YouTube and stuff like that so I can go live there, and follow me on Instagram as well, because I just like those apps better. Like this, the fact that I can't even like comment on my own videos that I have a podcast is weird and super controlling and really creepy, but that's besides the point. But yeah, and I think I will discuss this kind of more streamlined on the podcast as well. So if you don't subscribe to the podcast, please check it out. Your One Black Friend. All of the links are in the bios. Thanks for watching. All right, it is 7:47 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you have, because of an experience I had, too long to type here. If you have a question for me before I head out, please feel free to leave them in the comments. If not, it's been great. It's been real. I appreciate you all. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you, Jay. You've been here for a minute, for sure. So thank you. Thanks for giving me company. How do you feel about us shifting realities a billion times per second? Yeah. It's 3:48 a.m. You know, when somebody said that they were in UK, I thought, isn't it a bit late? I don't know if it's 3:48 though. Is it that late? That's quite late. Why are you not sleeping? Yeah, sorry, I don't time my lives well. I just hop on when I feel like it, and I probably should schedule it and stuff like that, but I'm not like a schedule person because time is an illusion. As far as us shifting realities a billion times, I have a video on that. It's somewhere on my channel. I don't know if it's a billion times. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't feel efficient. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel efficient that we would shift that many times. So I think it's every time you sort of make a decision that affects like your ongoing story, or that takes you off of like your most probable, you know, future, or your most probable like reality path, or whatever it is, right? I think that's when it shifts. I don't think it's like billions of times per second. That doesn't make sense to me. I do think that we do shift realities, and I do think that people do notice it. Somebody commented that there was a mirror, there was a piece of glass or a mirror in their house. It was in this live actually. There was a piece of glass or mirror in their house that was always broken, and then lately they went and looked at it and it's not broken anymore. I think things like that, you know, like you have something that you know you left on the table and now it's not there, but then you go back and you look at the same table and now it is there. Like I think those are cues of shifting, but I don't think that it happens like a billion times a second. It doesn't, unless you mean that we're vibrating. Then yeah, that could make sense, right? And then you're pulling in string theory. But does that vibration shift us between realities? Maybe. But I feel like once observed, you're collapsed into a particular, you know, reality experience until something sort of shifts that, you know? But I don't know. But if time isn't sequential, but static, and we move through time, that makes more sense to me. Do we shift reality many times without noticing it? I never get things like that happen to me. I feel like that happens to a lot of people, right? We would just dismiss it, or we like second guess ourselves, right? A lot of stuff that happens, for example, with the Mandela effect, people are just like, no, that's not what it is. Like, you just didn't remember, right? You're misremembering. That's something that people like to say. You're misremembering. It's like, okay, I know what the fuck I me when I lose things. Is it ADHD or shifting realities? I literally say that. I will literally, like, if somebody's looking for something in my house, and I just like, well, maybe you shifted. Welcome to this reality. You know, can't wait till like you shift back. My original person shows up. Hey, Monk, how are you? Thanks for stopping in. Getting ready to log off, though. We've been going for a minute. I think it's been almost 2 hours. I think this is my longest live yet, I think. but it's been a good one. It's been a good one. So like I said, we will be putting in, we're back to the original 78. You guys are great. I know you guys are just kind of watching. I appreciate it. I want all the haunted shit. What? Are you spiritual? That's an interesting question. I'm quantum. And so are you. The colors on a bridge changed for me. I think start making like notes. Like I think that every time you observe something that wasn't how you remembered it the last time, just write it down. Just write it down. Even if you feel like you're misremembering it, just keep a journal, write it down. Keep it on your phone. Open up a space on like your notepads or whatever. Just write it down. I don't think it hurts to write it down and then go over it, like just to see how many times these things sort of happen. I look forward to look at your YouTube. I really love your thoughts so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thanks for the comments on the shirt. Appreciate you as well. All right, it is 7:52 Pacific Standard Time, and I got a blast. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for staying. Thank you for the core 70-something. Yeah, write it down. Write down your observations. Somebody asked me when's my next live, and I don't know. I just kind of do shit. So yeah, but I do have, if you go to the link in my bio, or you go to youroneblackfriend.com, if you want to book a Zoom, all the proceeds for the Zoom is going to go towards producing more content. I have ideas that I want to sort of put into actualizing this reality. I want to start doing like animations, stuff like that. I want to like talk about these concepts, but make them, you know, kind of fun and kind of entertaining, because I found that a lot of the times when you talk about these concepts, people always say, oh, like this show, oh, like this movie, which tells me that it's easier for people to take in information when it's presented in a form of like entertainment or like, you know, media or something like that kind of way. They're still getting the information. It's a passive way of delivering information. And I think it really speaks to the right brain and bypasses the left brain, which is where the internal monologue is generated. So it's a good way to give people the information where it sits with them and it's visual, and then it helps them, it shifts their perspective on how they perceive, you know, reality. So that's kind of where I'm going, where I would love to like animate stuff or just do more like storytelling. So anyway, yes, free your mind. Oh, it's an agent. Speaking of agents. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thanks for the hearts. Thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. Love you guys. Later. Bye.